approached to sponsor a garden. We were approached by Joanna, who turned us over to Stephanie when we were not able to sponsor a garden on our own, but decided to do some fundraising through our check stands. So we were really excited to support the project. It seemed like a great way to sort of knit together some different things that the co-op cares about, organic food, making sure that everyone has equal access and has universal access to good, healthy food, having a more local food system where people are a little more self-sustaining, and it seemed like all of those things were incorporated in just gardening.
It's been a great partnership that we plan on continuing for years to come. We look forward to our Whole Foods Market team members building gardens in the future and definitely participating in other spring into bed events with the Just Garden project.
I mean, Just Garden is a pun, you know, it's Just Garden, like very simple, but it's also Just Garden, like there's justice to people growing their own food, to taking that back, that it's no longer in the hands of corporations and agribusiness farms, but it's in our hands, and it's our responsibility to grow our food not only for ourselves, but for our community and for our children, and so that our kids don't think that carrots come from the grocery store. They know that they actually come from the ground, and that there's a relationship between themselves and the food that they're eating and the earth that they live on, that's all connected. It's not like some separate thing. So.
Well, I'm talking about all things. One year you're planting one thing, and then the next year you're planting another. One year one thing will grow, and then the next year the other thing will grow.
The garden is important to me because this is where we get all of our food from here. This is what we eat.
Teamwork, that's been the best part. They have learned to share the watering. Everybody likes to water. They've learned to share harvesting. They enjoy that. And they've learned different things. There are several kids who have been responsible for picking the suckers out of the tomatoes. And I actually heard someone say, "I'm a sucker, I'm a sucker."
Suckers are tomato plants, little things that take out of energy so they can't grow.
When I came to Seattle, I thought it was amazing that there were all of these tomatoes that were the same size and so pretty. I'd never seen tomatoes where all of them were the same size, because I don't remember a time we didn't have a garden in my backyard in Louisiana. And this was in the city, but it was still a garden. Everybody had gardens. And I would bite into the tomato, and it just didn't taste good. And it must have taken at least a month or two before I realized that I was eating hothouse tomatoes, and I'd never had a hothouse tomato. There's nothing like a tomato grown in your backyard. So I started the garden just so I could have tomatoes, and then I just added. The best something it has done is teach a number of children who had never had their hands in dirt, not to mention have had a garden. Those were the best benefits, because now they worked in this garden, and quite a few of them have gardens at home, because I bought pumpkins and squash, and with permission of their parents, they took them home. And so a number of children are now growing plants at home.
Last year I came here and I grew some potatoes, tomatoes, and some kale. And last year I picked some of the potatoes.
So the gardens are really important, because for a lot of members of our community, access to organic, healthy, local food is just out of their price range. You know, if you're on a set income, a limited budget, the difference between $1 for a head of lettuce and $3 for a head of lettuce makes a big difference, or even $2.50 for a head of lettuce is huge. And so even if they want to buy organic food, even if they want to support local economies, that's just not realistic for what they have to work with. So what we do is we bring in the gardens, the soil, the seeds, the starts, a growing guide, and we connect them with a mentor so they can learn how to grow their own food. And once they have that, you know, they can take that anywhere with them and just grow food wherever they want.